We are now back again with another Gold Flex 5-man game. Around the Gold Flex Elo, the World War Shen, such a scary mask. World War Shen up against the Lunar Guardian Nasus with a fancy border. Evelyn against the Snowman. Tristana mid going up against Oriana. Definitely a very terrifying prospect for a Triss mid. I hate fighting Triss solo lane, man. When Triss solo lane, if the tiniest thing goes wrong, your tower goes poof. It's one of those picks. Caitlyn Lux going up against Jen Senna. Both team comps decently all in, although I do think that blue team's composition is quite a bit better here. Caitlyn Lux shouldn't ever lose to Jen Senna. And they are going for the invade through the long brush. Their first destination is probably Banana, but there is a scout at the Pixel. 2 scouts at the Pixel waiting to spot them out. Oh, they are gonna make the first move. It gets spotted out. The Oriana immediately runs for the hills, and the Light Binding, it will not go through. The Tristana starts a rocket jump as well. The Shroud from the Senna start is going to try to cloak everybody, but she gets taunted up. Is there gonna be a flash follow through? Yes, there will be from the Tristana, but she started rocket jump. What can she do here? Flash Binding goes out onto the Senna. She will be killed off here. Tristana does get rewarded for her rocket jump start. Barrier Flash goes out from the Senna. Triss did expend all of her summoner spells to make that first blood happen. She also started W. Master E is going to start the blue buff on top of a ward. It is going to be the standard jungle routes all across the map. And now the test comes down here for red team. In this current circumstance where, you know, your mid lane, who usually snowballs very hard off that pick, gets that first blood. And they have an Evelyn jungle, which past 6 will exert so much global map pressure. What is your best possible response? Tristana is gonna come in for the full explosive charge. I don't know why I think that's depth charge. You know, it's weird. Nasus is going to go for some farm. Oh, the Shen taunt falls a little bit short, and that is gonna give Nasus yet another CS. He's actually even in CS against the Shen, which is nothing short of an absolute miracle. Although Shen missing Shadow Dash the first time does definitely help Nasus trying to scale up a little bit. Although past the point, actually I won't say anything. Past the point, Nasus should in theory just beat a Shen. It does depend on how well the lane goes. In more than one aspect too. The taunt does go down. This is definitely not a good way to start it. Nasus will be going down here, does not make it out, will not actually expend a summoner, which is the correct choice. However, the worst part about this is if this Shen plays semi-intelligently, the wave is going to be frozen. And if he plays it right, it's going to be frozen for like 5 whole minutes. And then the game is just straight up over for the Nasus. It doesn't seem like the Shen has any interest in freezing it though. He is going to try to set up the worst possible way to push it out. And just give Nasus a bunch of free minions. And that's expected. Blue team's bottom lane quite a bit ahead in this laning phase. It is so much stronger here than red team's combination. Senna is going to try for an aggressive play. They do try to get the roots, but both roots miss, and the long distance net bullet will kill off the Senna here. Exhaust does go out onto the Master E. Master E is trying to make some damage happen onto the Lux, but can he make it happen? No, he cannot. He will back off here. Heal Flash comes out from the Caitlyn, but it doesn't even matter. They walk away with that 1 kill, and now blue team off to a really good start in this early game. Oriana is gonna eat some explosives. Oh my god! That is press the attack bonus damage plus cripple plus the explosive charge damage. Just taking half of Orianna's health bar in the blink of an eye. That's not. Trisk has a really nasty burst setup with AD where you need 4 shots to blow up the charge, so you just W for the first charge and then hit them 3 times, which also procs press the attack on your 3rd hit. And that blows up the charge, kills, basically like nukes your laner. Very few champions can survive multiple trades with that. And being a ranged laner just makes it all the more oppressive if she goes unpunished. And oh god, this wave from Nasus is so bad. It is such bad news for him. If this Shen even plays remotely clever. This is a freeze, man. You do not have to do this. You can freeze it. He's not... Excuse me. He's not freezing it. No, maybe he can actually. Nope, no he can't. No he can't. This is not freezable. And he's missing CS under the tower. CSing under tower is not that hard. With just a little bit of practice, you can get it very consistently. And he misses the cannon too. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. The Nasus, you can see it in his eyes. He's thirsty. He wants that cannon. He will get it no matter what the cost. Lux is gonna toss out a binding and nothing really gonna connect here. Jin is gonna start shooting. Not much is gonna happen from here. 6.5 minutes in. I will say Caitlyn is building up such a scary wave that I don't think that Jin can fully collect just because of the lane they're up against. I don't remember the rotation that this was picked in, but it does seem like Caitlyn Lux is just by far the better laning choices here. There's so much oppression going down in this lane. So one of the reasons why Caitlyn is so strong in today's meta and these recent patches, natural lane plus her newly buffed base stats just makes her so oppressive. And this is a huge lesson in how every tiny buff made to Caitlyn's stats has to be done so carefully. The patch that really brought her to relevance isn't even that scary on paper. They gave her 2 base AD. And, you know, like AD growth per level, but 2 base AD plus AD base growth per level, so that's around the laning phase, like 5 or 6 extra attack damage, and that's honestly elevated her to a place of absolute dominance in the bottom lane. Just because a champion with a base stat of 625 range wins lane so handily, even with the most minor of stat adjustments. Buffing Caitlyn has to be done in such delicate balance. She is certainly a monster in nowadays meta. Not to mention she also scales a lot better now too. It's something I didn't even talk about. It does seem like a lot of stars had to align for Caitlyn to be really, really strong. And it seems like it did. Senna does land a pretty good root combo onto her and takes about half of her health bar. She will start drinking her health potions, so she'll be just fine from this position. The taunt does go down onto the Nasus. He is dodging all of the counter attacks from the dog. I will say I expected the Shen to win this so much harder. Senna will tank away the bullet, but that tank does not come cheap. Both bot laners here from red team near death at 8.5 minutes in, and Caitlyn is gonna start her crusade into the tower. This CS is monstrous. Jin has less than 50. The Caitlyn has just been flexing in front of him, and he can't really do much about it. 14.1k against 12k. They climbed up to a 2,000 gold lead essentially off nothing. Just all the lanes being pressured in at the same time. Orianna is out CSing the Tristana handily, but Tristana is a better pusher right now. Although I will say, if you are going to pick something that can stop Trist's reign of terror in the solo lane, Orianna is definitely a pretty good pick. And it is showing here, she's not really that phased by the Tristana's push. And the Tristana actually doesn't get that many free shots onto the turret. Which is more or less what the only thing that Tristana in solo lane wants to do, is just to kill towers fast. Shen is gonna go for a really good trade here onto the Nasus, landing the taunt and the blade pulls through. But Nasus, now he's the one with a huge minion wave to work with. And please, will either top laner just manage your waves correctly and freeze it? Remains to be seen. It boggles my mind that Shen apparently is going for Crystalline Bracer over Tiamat here. That could still be Titanic Hydra. I mean, the option is not out of the window yet. But he first item a Tabai instead of a Tiamat. He could definitely force the issue onto a Nasus. By a Tiamat, you have significant kill pressure onto a Nasus early on. It does seem like blue team will help themselves to a Rift Herald regardless. 10.5 minutes in, they do snag their second global objective. Get a really good buddy to help them push a tower of their choice. Evelyn's just gonna snatch it up. But during Shen's entire absence, I don't necessarily think that was the best case scenario for the Nasus, for the Shen. Nasus did get himself quite a bit of income here. He is now ahead in CS while more or less tied. When Shen grabs his wave. Oh, Evelyn, she walked a little bit too far forward, but the Mark will arm. The flash from the Nasus gets caught back. The Dawning Shadow goes out for the assist, but the Evelyn, she's so low. The Dawn comes out. The Herald will not be dropped. And now the Shen, with no Shadow Dash, cannot continue the fight. He will have to back off. I don't know why Shen didn't ult Evelyn. He could have saved her. Orianna is gonna flash away, but tanks one more auto. However, the last take with Knight is not enough to finish her off. Pings go down onto the Herald pit, but the Master E is much more invested in clearing out the river site, river vision first. Master E is still trying to farm up a storm, although Evelyn is matching his pace. He certainly has not been a part of a kill or assist yet. In fact, 3 members on red team has a perfectly clean slate in terms of scoreboard. Master E, he's trying to get himself out there. He's trying to come online. He does need quite a few items before he can actually do that. And right now, with a lot of his lanes not necessarily in a strong killing position, it's hard. It's hard to make that happen. But Jhin is going to be caught out here. Not going to get healed in time to save himself from the Evelyn. Evelyn will help herself to her first kill. She gets on the board. Nasus will Spirify to wither away the armor, and the donk does go down. He's getting not that much CDR still, but he is going to farm up some stacks. Herald does get dropped in time. The root goes down onto the Evelyn, but there is the Herald. First turret goes the way of blue team. And they do clean up a ward on the back as well. And finally, Shen gets his Tiamat. Thank God it's not Crystalline Bracer. I would have lost my mind. And now red team. They lost first tower. They're down 3 kills. And they still have no global objectives to speak of. The Scuttle goes the way of blue team as well. Although it will expire shortly before the Drake will spawn. Infernal Drake is next on the plate. Both teams will certainly like this. Red team more so. They are a very offense-oriented team. Shen taunts in. The dodge goes down. And there it is. Nasus trades back aggressively. All he has is the Sheen. But that's all he needs to really lay some pain onto the Shen. The Shen, despite being ahead, his only tank item right now is a Ninja Tabai. No Sunfires, no anything to speak of. He was the Tiamat. He could still man-fight the Nasus if Nasus doesn't have ultimate. Nasus has now handily out-CS the Shen in lane. Thanks to his absence and really thanks to that really botched top gank, Nasus has definitely clawed his way back. How much money is he going back with? 2,000 gold. Not enough for a Triforce straight up, but definitely enough for a Phage and a really good chunk of it. His recall will not complete. He's still farming it out. Does he want to just buy Triforce straight up? He needs a few hundred more gold to do that. Not sure about staying in lane for that long. Especially since Infernal Drake is up. Top laners, you should reset. You really should reset now. Prep yourself for a TP play. Oh, but neither top laner is giving an inch. The fight at Drake might be doomed to a 4v4. Actually a 4v0. Red team is not even contesting this. Senna Wraith will grapple onto the Caitlyn, but nothing will come out of it. Cloud Rift sets in. And Orianna. 4 people just got smashed into mid lane, and Orianna has to try to deal with them. Evelynn is spinning around in the back. She does have Last Caress. She has the damage. Can they make something happen here? Triss explosive charge dents the tower handily. Evelynn still on the side, but she cannot find the angle to engage. Nasus going for an aggressive trade up top. You know, Evelynn could just roam top instead of doing whatever she's doing at mid. She's not needed there. She can just come up top and kill the Nasus. But it seems like they will go for the siege after all. Evelynn still doing absolutely nothing. I mean, for an Evelynn at this stage in the game, don't do that. Just attack a side lane. You don't have to be there. You don't contribute anything to the siege. The Caitlyn will be caught out here by the... Oh, she fails the net over. Master E will flash after her as well. Dawning Shadow goes out to chunk out the Caitlyn, but the Master E, has he given up the chase here? Loosen Singularity will tag him for a little bit of damage. Holy meditated through. And there is the ball coming out from the Orianna. The Caitlyn has nowhere to go. She will be taken down here by the Master E. He finally gets on the board. 1-0-0 is the scoreline. Making the plays happen here. Caitlyn does get caught out and killed. That is a huge relief here for Red Team. They finally find a really good pick for themselves. 16 minutes in. Master E. Oh, the Evelynn Submarine. It's arrived. It's gonna bring 4. The Shadow Dash goes out. Master E has no chance, and he just gets eviscerated where he stands. The Jhin might be the next victim, unless he can get himself out. Rocket Jump does come in from the Tristana, but they will not make it happen. Rift Herald is up in 8 seconds, but nobody is near the top side except for the Nasus. Blue team committed 3 bottom. And all they really got out of it was a kill, which, you know, is worth it. They do commit the Shen to catch out the Master E. It is a worthwhile trade, all things considered. I will say, however, he is leaving Nasus to his own devices, and the rest of his team, they haven't made the necessary movements to contest him. Nasus is happy to give up this Rift Herald if it means he can get that turret and more stacks. This is a very easy trade for him to make. Luxor Laser from the proximity of the Herald. Red Team must know this is where they're headed to, right? Especially since Caitlyn and Lux haven't been spotted on the map in so long. Evelynn will join the fight. This will be a free Herald going over the way of Blue Team. Now the question is, they have Rift Herald. Can they break open a base with it? Right now the answer is probably... Well, not the base. Can they break open a tower with it, rather? The answer right now is probably no. Unless they do it to top lane during Nasus being gone. But Evelynn... No, not Evelynn. Caitlyn's the one holding the eye. She is pushing up top. If she drops it right now, it might just straight up be denied. No, she will hold the eye. The Herald will not come out to play today. She will use the enhanced recall to get back home. $3,000 gold ahead for Blue Team. Mostly still coming off their lane and map advantages. They haven't necessarily killed too many people to justify that kind of gold lead. There's the Nasus. He's doing Nasus things up top. And Blue Team loses their turret. That's actually the first turret that Blue Team has lost. And Nasus, he's still farming up a Storm. He's got Triforce complete at last. And Triss, rocket jumping in. She wants to make a play happen. The miss race will miss. And the explosive charge kills it straight up. That is so much damage from just Blade of the Rune King and BF Sword. I don't think the Jhin was expecting that much burst. He had nothing to protect himself with. But the Senna certainly was not able to save him from that burst either. It was just so much damage coming out from the Triss. She knew that she could kill the Jhin and she went for that play. Kudos for actually making the kill happen. There it is, Shen. He doesn't have his W up anymore, which means taunting the Nasus is a terrible mistake, and he pays for it in blood. Senna will also be killed off here by the Evelynn, and the root is coming down just one after another. Master E is meditating through, but he is not tanky enough to survive all of this. The love dust gets sprayed all over the Orianna. Can a robot fall in love? Apparently they can. And the Caitlyn might want to convert that kill, but she cannot confirm it. They will just leave 2 additional bodies at mid lane and turn for the dragon. That brings them to Soul Point. And red team are left with no global objectives to their name. Not a single herald, not a single dragon. They got 1 tower after committing 18 minutes and a Nasus top lane to do so. In the map wide, like from a map perspective, they are not making objective plays happen. And so far they seem scattered. They've been picked off left, right and center. Senna's going around trying to clear out wards. And turns out there is a forest left behind here by blue team. Evelyn is gonna try to walk up now. She's going to go back to her jungle, probably make another pick. She has her Lich Bane complete. Surely Death Cap is next, but she has an M-Tome, so that doesn't make a Death Cap. I wonder what she's building next. The standard build is to go Death Cap once you get your Lich Bane and Runic Echoes. Or, you know, sometimes just straight up Death Cap if you need the damage. I've actually started to like Lich Bane second less and less on Evelyn, as it just became harder and harder to get that damage off. You could empower Whiplash in, get the hit and get out. Death Cap, if you're fed enough, is actually a more consistent avenue to get that damage. Master E is gonna farm under the eyes of a ward. And there it is, multi-man collapse coming down from top lane. The Nasus is none the wiser. He's still trying to fight this. Can he fight this? The first Q almost takes out all of Evelyn's health. Oh my god, he is so strong. But they are holding him down. They commit all 5 and smash him top lane to kill the Nasus, albeit barely. I don't think anyone on blue team expected that much damage. Shen panic TPs in with Stand United to try to save them. And now, with 5-man committed top, they're going to leave some to push out the top turret. But their mid lane is under siege and suddenly they lose out on the map play. They're taking such a terrible turret trade. Oh, 1 kill on 1 turret is not worth your mid lane getting reduced to shambles. Certainly not. Shen is going to push up top lane. The Nasus is quick to respawn. He needs to try to get out. He has a teleport. He has a recall. Can he actually make it out here? They ping out his position. They know where he is. They're trying to chase him down. 2 people walk over a ward. Shen. Oh, he gets spotted out by the Master E. He is going to try to taunt and fight his way out. The Hydra. The damage is going down. Master E cannot withstand the damage. The bullet lock-on is there. And a beautiful blast cone. Jin takes the bullet in mid-flight. Probably saving the Master E. He was mid-air. He couldn't meditate. The shockwave does go down the Lux, but they pull away from the Deadly Flourish. The route to follow-up is not there, and the shockwave have accidentally saved the Lux from her demise. That seems to be a pretty big whoopsie here from red team, missing out on the Lux kill. And their time is running out. 2 minutes from now, Cloud Soul will spawn, and that is going to be a viable avenue here for blue. Can you imagine blue team with the Dragon Soul? To be honest, Cloud Soul doesn't matter, because when you cast your ultimate, several champions just... Okay, run down the list. Shen has to channel to finish casting it. Tristana, probably. Evelyn literally pushes her away when she ults. Caitlyn roots herself. Lux semi-roots herself. Cloud Drake is definitely, the movement speed aspect is definitely not going to be the most useful here on a blue team. The movement speed passively and the ultimate CDR, however, that will go such a long way. With 2 stacks of Cloud Drake, it is a non-insignificant reduction to the cooldown of Stand United. Orianna is gonna help herself to a blue buff, and the mid lane play is coming out. Senna has to try to walk away. Mithrace goes out, but she is just fine. No additional kill seems like it can happen here. Now blue team, what are they doing? They're posturing topside. They want to make a Baron Force happen. They're now clearing out the region. A red team, it is now up to them to try to come in and retake the site. CSGO lingo. Lux walks over a ward. The Mithrace will not grapple her. No root here. The blue team, they walk in, secure vision, and walk right back out. And red team has a window to infiltrate the area if they so desire. And now They are rotating towards the Soul. Red team, they're still hovering topside. Oh, don't do that. No, no, Soul's on the table. Soul's on the table. You must realize this. They seem to finally realize they're coming down. But blue team kills this dragon so fast. There's 2 ADCs in the Evelyn. Are you kidding me? Red team, they've given up on the dragon. They're going to force this Baron instead. I don't think this is a wise call. Dragon's already dead and they haven't started Baron. They heavily underestimate just how fast blue team can kill a dragon. They're still going to try to force for it. How much health is there in that? It's at 4,000. The bullet comes in. The ace in the hole, it connects. Master E has left the pit. The Nasus is the only one hitting it. Blue team, they're coming in, but red team's calls are split. One of them is still hitting the Baron. The team fight is already broken out. Shin is low. Master E is the first casualty. No smite is possible. The jungler has been killed off. Nasus will be taken down as well. And now the Evelyn, she's coming in. She lands a haste spike. The damage is there. Jin is the next to go. Oriana is being chased down as well. The love dust gets sprayed over her, and it gets procced. Without the charm, it doesn't even matter. That's 4 bodies on the ground. And that might be 5. Sanna's running for the hills. She needs to make her stand. The Mistrace goes out onto the Tristana. The damage is coming down. Will she get the kill? No, she will not. Buster Shot saves the Trist with the self-heal before Senna can complete her auto attack. And now she truly has nowhere to go. So Lucid Singularity will pick her out. The light binding comes down as well. Senna is going to be killed off here by the Evelyn. She did delay long enough that blue team probably cannot start the Baron. Are they still going to try? No, they will not. They will go for the reset. But that is essentially free soul and an ace for essentially 1 body on the ground. Such a major map win here for blue team, and they outmaneuver red team. Red team seriously should not have been trying to secure Baron Vision with 20 seconds left on the Drake. That doesn't seem like and once they realized that, oh no, blue team rotated, their call was to do Baron, but that Baron call never works out. They hugely underestimate just how fast blue team can melt these objectives with their champions. And I think they've certainly paid dearly for it. Now Clauso over the way of blue team. They're sitting pretty now with Soul. Elder Dragon is now a thing on the table. 4 minutes from now, it will spawn for the first time. Caitlyn, she walks up a little bit too far forward, but is it gonna be enough here? Master E, he still wants to make this happen. The curtain comes down, but the bullets are not finding the target. Caitlyn will make it out. The taunt will miss, and now the Evelyn will come in from the side. Caitlyn rejoins the fight. They kill off the Master E. The laser goes down mid lane as well. The jungler will die for absolutely nothing. The dog is still split pushing in bottom lane, but the rest of his team is being destroyed. There's no jungler, which means blue team turn their sights to Baron. They walk through a ward. Red team knows that this is their plan, but it seems like it is impossible for them to contest this. They might still have to try. They will opt to defend against Baron. They will not make it here in time. This thing just melts. And there it is. Blue team takes Baron. Holding off blue team's Baron push is exceedingly difficult. They have a Trist, and a Caitlyn, and a Shen. Their siege is borderline unstoppable. And if you throw Baron on that pile, it is just icing on the cake. Cherry on the sundae. Do people put cherries on sundaes? Oh man, I miss Sundae. I haven't had one in so long because quarantine. Oh, why did I say Sunday? Oh. Dang it, now I'm gonna spend the rest of my cast thinking about the Sunday. Cherries on Sundays. Man. Oh, now I can't even focus. Now I'm just thinking about the Sunday. This is a sign that I've been quarantined too long. I miss ice cream. Today's a really cold day too. I shouldn't be wanting ice cream. Oh. But regardless, blue team will start their push here. First minimake gets fed to the wolves. And they're going for a reset right now. Not necessarily the best use of your time as Baron. They are gonna send Shen to split push bottom lane. That has to be answered by somebody. I mean, the right answer is obviously send the puppy down there. Nasus could probably hold him. However, Shen will help himself to a blue buff. And right now, red team's jungle is just not their own. They are 7,000 gold behind. Evelyn's gonna help herself to a blue. They can't get in to farm their own jungle. So essentially, the longer this game goes, the richer blue team will get. And that's worse and worse news here for red team. Red team does not scale as hard as blue. Evelyn is terrifying in all stages of the game. Even late game, she has more than enough damage to burst somebody out. With Sundae's Hourglass complete too, she is one hell of a character to try to kill. And that is going to be tower number 1 down without really too much competition, just because blue team's siege is absolutely insane. It is off the charts good. There's going to be an inconspicuous ball in the middle, two Baron Empower cannons hammering at the inhibitor. They're going to be joined by a third. They're coming in. The inhibitor is going down. Blue team is forcing the issue. They're coming in. Shockwave does go down onto the back, but the Orianna being cut out in the middle. Caitlyn will get her first kill. Tristana is coming in. She's shooting onto the back. The buster shot sends them back into the fountain. Tower number 1 at the Nexus Towers fall. Jin will go in for the first shot crit, but it is not enough. Last Kareth goes down from the Evelyn. The electrocute damage kills the Jin where he stands, and that is probably going to be it. Nasus is still split pushing top lane. He can't come back home to defend. He might need to. He teleports onto the tower, and that is going to be the end of the game. Blue team takes us 31 minutes in off a single devastating push with Baron buff.